41.
So many of us are walking alone in our grief over losing someone to substance use. Blinded by sorrow and silenced by stigma, it's hard to find others who understand our pain. We don't talk about our loss as much as we would like, because we can't. People view death differently when it's a result of substance use disorder. There is still so much stigma. If only people knew that substance use disorder is a health condition and that addiction is not a choice, they might have more compassion for us, the grieving, and for the 60,000 people we lose to substance use each year. Each death represents 7 grieving family members, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. We are nearly 500,000 Canadians looking for answers and meaningful action to prevent more deaths. So let's walk together in compassion to honor those we've lost, to help end so much needless suffering, and increase wellness for all. We know we can do better. Let's do better together.
We talk about our physical health. We talk about our mental health. Why aren't we talking about substance use health?
Which is fantastic. I'm Sam LaPratte. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We have an incredible lineup of really special speakers today at the WOW Festival. I'm hoping that you'll be able to learn something today. This is really also an opportunity to celebrate the resources in this city. It's incredible, and I'm just so proud to be part of today. I wanted to really start our day today with an opportunity to meet an elder. Vince Kicknosway is a father of 4, a grandfather of 13, and a great-grandfather of 1. He's a member of the Walpole Island First Nation and is part of the Loon Clan. He's recently retired from the Odawa Native Friendship Center after a dedicated 44 years of service. It is my pleasure to welcome Elder Kicknosway.
Research on adverse childhood experiences shows that poverty,
right up here, my friend.
racism,
Here we go. Nice warm welcome.
Food security, and family
Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
These are
a grandfather of 13 and a great-grandfather. You are blessed. 3 great-grandchildren. 3 great-grandchildren. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
thank you. I'm very proud as a grandfather and a great-grandfather. Most recently, my first great-granddaughter came into the world 2 days ago. So, one moment, please, while I light the Wingus. Hope everyone's having a great time out there and you enjoyed the opportunity to play bingo. I will ask kindly, I know we have cellular phones and the organization has privileged not to video our a certain portion of the opening. And the reason for that is the eagle feather. We don't photograph the eagle feather. In our prayers, we ask Migasa, the eagle feather, the eagle who flies the highest and sees the furthest, to carry our messages on into creation to the Creator. So we ask kindly for that moment of recognition of not taking any photographs. For those that are not aware of this process of the Wingus, it's one of them 4 medicines. Actually, there's a huge amount of other medicines that our indigenous peoples, Métis and Inuit, use in their ceremonies and openings in recognition to creation. We give thanks. I give thanks for life. It's an important part to recognize yourself. In wellness, it's an opportunity to love yourself, take care of yourself, apply your personal abilities, and everything that God, your higher power, whatever religious, spiritual faith, belief that you have, the Creator made everything an opportunity in creation for these abilities. Everyone, each and every one of you have these abilities, whatever parts of the world you may come from or your ancestors. And that's simply what you see, what you hear, what you smell, how you speak, and what you taste. You combine all of those to what your heart says and how to be kind and sensitive. We are so grateful for those abilities that everything that the Creator provided. So with that in mind, I will acknowledge each and every one that hears my voice throughout the world. There are 4 directions your ancestors may have come from. I offer those prayers each and every day. And as one of the Ongohongwe grandmothers shared with me, I have the camera of life right here, who I see here. I will offer in here and here my prayers before the Mishumas goes beyond Ipeng Mishpak, our western doorway. I will acknowledge all of you and your families, your children, to those who have gone on before us, because that's who I will invite here to guide you, to provide you the recognition for your purpose throughout this day. for a safe and happy, enjoyable opportunity to learn of what is available out there. We are so grateful for those abilities, so I give thanks to that. As I have smudged myself, as I do each and every day, I'm of the Loon clan, and I give thanks. I wish to share a recognition to what has become what I have recognized over the course of the past 40 years. My choice of change in life, the wellness, the way of life that I have chosen has provided me to enter into that third generation of my children in hopes that I can provide a little bit that I know of who I am, for them to be proud of who they are. And for all of each and every one of you, no matter whichever way you look at it, this beautiful Onguhongwe woman once shared amongst thousands of people from all over the world. She said, when you learn who you are and to be honored of your ancestry, you're all treaty people. And this is something that we need in our life today so that we may be able to fulfill our role and responsibilities and create a healthier, happier lifestyle in today's world. I offer that each and every day to Kajamanadu. I offer that to all the women, because if it wasn't for the women who nudged me to make a choice of change in my lifestyle, I provide that now in the recognition to the men and the boys, to sharing with them what our role and responsibilities are. I acknowledge Frank Ba DeConte, elder who has gone into the world, spirit world. He shared with me about the creation of femininity and how your health, your wellness is important when you walk upon Shkokumekwa, Mother Earth, in the creation of femininity, to honor all of the female in the world, from the trees, the plants, the grasses, to the crawling creatures, to those flyers, those swimmers, those four-legged. Oh, I have to include three-legged. Yesterday, my wife and I did a blanket exercise just here on Laurier Avenue for another government department, and there was a three-legged dog. So I have to include that three-legged dog to others. But to realize how important it is in regards to the opportunity that this organization has provided and is providing for all of the willing people to come forth and recognize the opportunities within this city, within this region. Health opportunities, wellness, and how to focus on who is out there available to each and every one of us. This is a sincere appreciation for the coordination of an event of this nature. The wellness for each and every one of us is an important part to look after oneself. I hope that I am able to carry on and provide as best as I can for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and to others. So I say to each and every one of you, enjoy your day, and I give thanks to the coordinating committee for the invitation to share a little bit that I know. I'm so grateful. I say, miigwech, merci, thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, miigwech.
Thank you so much, Elder, for joining us today. We appreciate the wise words. Appreciate it very, very much. My name is Sam LaPrade. I'm so happy to be here today. I am a host on Rogers TV, and I'm just so happy to be here today to celebrate with you today at the WOW Festival. It is going to be a fantastic day full of events and activities, so many things planned, including our Community Partner Expo. It's all a buzz in there. I love hearing all the chatter. It's going to be running all day. You can meet these incredible organizations and have an opportunity to see the important work that they're doing. Throughout the day, you're going to also hear from speakers on substance use health spectrum and come together later for an award ceremony. We look forward to that, to recognize those making a difference in collaborative care. I think that's the word of the day today, collaborative and substance use health. Wanted to make a couple of notes, housekeeping things for you. Inside, there are washrooms here located at beautiful City Hall here. Water is available on site. We don't want anyone to get dehydrated on a beautiful, sunny, warm day like today, so make sure you stay hydrated and that you reduce waste by finding the nearest trash or recycling bin. If you have any questions or concerns, our CAPSA team and volunteers are here to help, so that's why they're here. They'll be here in the navy blue CAPSA suits. You can see them. I can see a few. There we go, waving away there. So feel free to connect with them. Today's going to be a great one, and once again, I'm just so thrilled to be here. I see Adam Joyner here today from the Boys and Girls Club. Welcome, Adam. Adam's everywhere, everybody. She's just everywhere. I wanted to take a minute today to welcome a dear friend of mine, and that is Councillor Catherine Kitts. Come on up here, Councillor. Now, Councillor Kitts is the chair of the Ottawa Public Health Board, a very important board in our city, doing incredible work. And here's the thing, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. Is that okay? So here's the thing I love about Catherine Kitts, is Catherine Kitts just doesn't come here to work at City Hall. She is in her community. And there was a day, oh, I'm going to get emotional. There was a day when tragedy struck the community of Navan. And Catherine wasn't here behind her desk. She was on the ground. And I've never forgotten that. And we saw each other and we were like, oh my gosh. But that's the kind of counselor you have in Councillor Kitts. She is here today to proclaim today a very special day. I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Sam. Leave it to Sam LaPrade to get me choked up before I need to speak, but thank you for those kind words. Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour, Quay. It's great to be here for this incredible festival today on behalf of Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, but also in my role as chair of the Board of Health. Before we begin, and as we gather today on this sacred land, I would like to acknowledge with deep respect and gratitude that we are on unceded traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. Today, we acknowledge and honor all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and we commit ourselves to the journey of reconciliation, healing, and unity. I want to recognize my colleagues that are here today. I know they're probably participating in the festival. I know I saw my colleague, Councillor Troster, but I'm sure others will be here throughout the day. Anthony Espasti, CEO of the Community Addictions Peer Support Association, senior leaders and members of CAPSA, the sponsors, donors, and volunteers who are helping out today, and anyone who is supported by or benefits from the terrific work CAPSA does. Thank you all for being here and for your dedication to helping others as they cope with their own mental health and substance use issues. Merci de faire preuve de temps, de dévouement, alors que vous aidez les personnes qui font face à des problèmes de santé mentale et de toxicomanie. The journey to wellness isn't always straightforward. People may experience successes along the way, but there are setbacks too. Those setbacks can feel so much harder when people face stigma and discrimination. We know it's not easy, but that is why events like this are so important. Ces événements montrent que les membres de la communauté demeurent solidaires pour lutter contre ces revers. How we're willing to come together to break down barriers and support one another, and to make sure that no one is left alone as they struggle with their health and substance use issues. Je tiens à remercier les organismes commanditaires et donateurs qui se trouvent parmi nous en grand nombre aujourd'hui et qui accompagnent avec un savoir-faire unique les résidents de notre ville dans leur cheminement vers le bien-être. You understand that wellness looks different for everyone, and you're here to make sure everyone has the chance to achieve it. Bearing that in mind, it is my honor to read the official proclamation celebrating the Working on Wellness Festival. So I'd like Anthony and members of his team to join me, if there are any around. And we do have a proclamation here. Thank you. Do you want to bring the... Perfect. And I'll read out the whereas clauses. So Working on Wellness Day, September 13th, 2024. Here we go. Thank you. Whereas substance use, mental health, and physical health includes and affects the lives of individuals, families, and communities in Ottawa, et étendu que de nombreux résidents et organismes s'efforcent d'éliminer les barrières de l'inégalité et la stigmatisation et de la discrimination, and whereas working on wellness is a real, available, attainable, sustainable, and ongoing journey in our community, et étendu qu'ensemble, grâce à notre expérience de vie et à notre sagesse collective, nous démontrons les résultats possibles. And whereas we choose to celebrate the diverse pathways to increase wellness for the whole person that enrich all of our lives, et étendu que nos résidents d'Ottawa affirmons à l'unisson, nous appuyons le travail sur le mieux-être sous toutes ses formes. Therefore, I, Catherine Kitts, on behalf of Mark Sutcliffe, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, do hereby proclaim September 13th, 2024, Working on Wellness Day in Ottawa. Thank you.
We'll get some official photos there. Thank you so much to Catherine Kitts for joining us today. Councillor Kitts representing Mayor Mark Sutcliffe today. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful way to start our day today. I wanted to have an opportunity today to speak with Steve Vachon. Steve Vachon. Steve is here, and he is a Montfort Renaissance Director of Mental Health Services and the Access MHA Ottawa Hub site. Steve has a background in psychoeducation, computer science, and mathematics, and has over 25 years of experience in the psychosocial intervention, clinical supervision, program development, and management. He is passionate about mobilizing resources to support recovery. Give a warm welcome to Steve Vachon. Hello, Steve. Hello, my friend. Hi. Yeah, thank you so much. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah. Bonjour à tous et à toutes. First, I want to say that I'm humbled to have been invited again to speak before you today. So thank you so much for inviting me. Listening to the introduction, though, I think it needs to be updated. I need to update it. It hasn't been 25, but 30 years. I've been in the community health services. And in the past 30 years, I've learned many things. I saw system change. I saw paradigm shifts. I saw surprising ideas become the norm. And I would like to share with you today one of those ideas that need to be reinforced continuously, needs to be acknowledged. The idea that creating allyships with people with lived and living experience of the mental health and substance use health system is absolutely necessary if we want to steer our health system in the right direction. Je tiens à communiquer ma conviction que si on veut engager nos soins de santé dans la bonne direction, on doit absolument créer des alliances et des partenariats avec les personnes qui vivent ou ont vécu avec les services de santé mentale et de santé de la consommation de substances. Because as I continue my journey in the health system, it seems that stress factors keep increasing. There's a terrible housing crisis, a drug supply that's becoming toxic, deadly even, inflation level that leaves people having to choose between eating or paying rent, a health system that keeps overheating, and many other stress factors. And for those in a vulnerable position, the situation becomes untenable. It seems like these folks are pushed from all fronts: mental, substance use, emotional, spiritual, economic, physical. And on top of that, these cumulative stressors become barriers to service access. We all heard, "You're much too complex for my program." Or then again, "We don't want you too close to our neighborhood, too close to our kids." So we are forced to observe how areas of need become stigma in themselves, often intersectional stigma. So the question becomes, how will we adapt our health system to meet these challenges and face that complexity? Well, we need allies to do so. Because when you forge an allyship, your ally brings something to the table. And believe me, people who have or have had the experience of the health system have something to bring to the table. Definitely, they are our allies, not just clients of the system. Personally, I had the privilege to stand beside people with lived and living experience. They formed a group of amazing individuals with amazing collective wisdom, knowledge, and expertise. And working together, we made access to service easier and better for tens of thousands of people with the Access MH initiative. We have a booth over there, so please drop by. This becomes possible when people with lived and living experience do not stand behind, but become co-leaders, co-designers of the system. And you know what? This should go without saying. That shouldn't be a surprising concept. History is full of profound transformations through allyships. Just our universal healthcare in Canada. Before the 60s, it was largely privatized. People had a hard time paying for basic medical services or medical care. But through the advocacy of the people, especially in Saskatchewan under Premier Douglas, people came together and started to change the system. Premier Douglas worked closely with unions, with doctors, and with citizens to design a health system that would be for the entire population, not just those that were well off. This allyship between leaders and community members produced Medicare in '62 and then expanded to the rest of Canada to become one of the defining features of Canada. But back to our mental health and substance use health services, leaders and service providers must absolutely keep this collaborative approach, meeting individuals where they are and valuing their experience and expertise, and walk beside them to steer our health services in the right direction. But to create allyships, we need to put aside stigma and intersectional stigma. Stigma on mental, substance use, economic, spiritual fronts, and rather focus on a common thread, the willingness to strive towards better health, better mental health, better substance use health, better spiritual health, better economic health. Because in the end, we all want to be healthy. So let us be allies in health. Parce que lorsque les prestataires de services communautaires s'associent aux individus de cette manière, leur établissement devient une possibilité vivante et concrète. La stigmatisation commence à disparaître. Et les individus trouvent la force, non seulement de surmonter leurs défis, mais de s'épanouir. Ce partenariat ne se contente pas de guérir les individus, il guérit les communautés, créant les bases pour la résilience, la santé et une transformation durable du système. Merci.
Thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate those wise words today. We appreciate all these wonderful speakers joining us today. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker, and that is Tamara Chipperfield. Tamara is the CEO of Pinecrest Queensway Community Health Center. She brought her whole team here today. She's been a leader in the space of mental health, substance use health, and community services for over 20 years, the last decade of which has been within community health sector. And Tamara brings to her work a commitment of community engagement and health equity, working to support innovation in health and community services. In 2022, Tamara had the pleasure of joining the fabulous team at CAPSA as their Chief Operating Officer, working alongside the whole team at CAPSA. I don't want to waste one more minute. You need to get up here. You've got a lot of fans in the crowd, so Tamara, give her a big warm welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's a real pleasure and honor and privilege to have been invited today to be one of the keynote speakers here at this really fabulous and important event, working on wellness, where we come together to celebrate wellness in all its forms. Wellness is more than just the absence of illness. It's about connection, community, and ensuring that everyone has access to the care and support that they need for optimum health. For those of you who may not know, I currently work at Pinecrest Queensway Community Health Centre, and as mentioned in the intro, in the year or so before I joined PQ, I had the real privilege and honor of joining the systems change makers at CAPSA as their Chief Operations Officer. That year that I worked with Anthony and his team was a year of immense learning, where I had the privilege of witnessing the systems change work that this incredible team was leading firsthand and continues to lead. At Pinecrest Queensway Community Health Centre and across the community health centre sector, we see firsthand how crucial it is to take a holistic and integrated approach to health and well-being. The CHC model is grounded in the belief that health is not just a matter of individual choices, but a product of our environment, our relationships, and the systems that support or fail us. The Alliance for Healthier Communities Health Equity Framework reflects this understanding. It reminds us that addressing the root causes of health disparities like poverty, discrimination, and lack of access to services is key to achieving true wellness for all. In recent years, through the leadership and work of CAPSA, there has been an important shift toward recognizing substance use health as an essential part of the health and wellness equation. Moving away from an illness-based model of substance use to viewing our relationship to substances through a health lens approach supports informed reflection on our overall health and well-being. CAPSA's substance use health approach or framework invites everyone into dialogue, discussion, and learning with regards to their own individual relationship with substances, from no use right through to substance use disorder. Information and knowledge is empowering. And the more openly we discuss substance use from a health perspective in the way we do mental health and physical health, the more empowered people are to make decisions and choices for their health and well-being. It's also about moving beyond the stigma that has for so long been attached to our understanding of substances, and in particular substance use disorders. Stigma is a key barrier to ensuring all people have access to the information they need to make informed decisions and or to receive the care they need to improve their health. CAPSA has been and continues to be at the forefront of this work, advocating for greater awareness and support for substance use health. And I really want to underline the fact that CAPSA does not work alone. They work in collaboration, they work in partnership with key players and partners across the sector, Ottawa Public Health being a key one here today, the community health sector, Ottawa health teams. CAPSA is really leading change at that systems level, but the way they do it is from the ground up in ensuring that the voice of people have a place in decision making and change at the systems level. I think one of the most powerful aspects of this work is to emphasize the community collaboration piece. We know that health is built collectively and that no single organization can do it all. In our community health centers, we see daily the power of partnerships, working alongside other organizations, peers, and community members to create supportive networks. Together, we help remove barriers, build trust, and ensure people have access to the care that they need without judgment. This model of care allows us to address not just the immediate needs, but also long-term health and wellness. I'm also really proud to share that the Alliance for Healthier Communities has made a significant commitment by passing a resolution to adopt a substance use health framework, the one that CAPSA and OPH co-created together. Kudos, team, and support its rollout across CHCs in Ontario. This framework embodies our collective dedication to ensuring people who use substances are met with compassion and high-quality care. It aligns perfectly with the health equity framework we follow, providing a roadmap to ensuring that everyone has access to the information, education, and support they need to live healthy, full lives. At the heart of this work is our belief that everyone deserves to feel connected and supported. Community health centers and all of the organizations that are under this tent today are the lifeline for those services. We're committed to continuing to work together across sectors and communities to advance substance use health and ultimately wellness for all. Thank you so much. Enjoy the day.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate that. Give it up for Tamara Chipperfield joining us today. Okay. Well, I've heard a few words today that I just want to point out. I've heard a lot about collaboration and I've heard a lot about compassion. And I think those are two words that really, speak to why we're all here today. Okay, we have a great next speaker as well for you. Dr. Tony DeBono is the Registrar and Executive Director of the College of Psychologists and Behavior Analysts for Ontario. Tony's clinical passion is working with young people experiencing emotional dysregulation and complex needs. He has worked in academic health sciences, in clinical and leadership roles, and has served on the board of directors of the Ottawa Network for PDD and the Ontario Psychological Association. A nice warm welcome. Give it up for Dr. DeBono. Welcome, my friend. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'd like to thank CAPSA for the invitation to speak with you all today. And in particular, I'm going to give a shout out to Sean Fisk of CAPSA, who I consider a colleague and a friend. Never fear, Sean, this isn't going to be a roast, but I will say I met Sean at one of our Access MHA Advisory Council meetings a few years ago, and the rest is history. I had the privilege of working with Sean on Access MHA, as well as on the board of the Ottawa Network for Borderline Personality Disorder. Let me tell you, if you don't already know Sean, he is an awesome force to be reckoned with, a champion for those with lived and living expertise, and just an all-around incredible human being. What makes Sean and his colleagues so exceptional? There's a term in ancient Latin called sua sponte, which means of one's own accord. Sean and the CAPSA crew go the extra mile, driven by passion and commitment. CAPSA isn't waiting for others to catch up. They're leading on their own path. There's much to celebrate today at the WOW Festival, and congratulations to the staff and the volunteers and everybody involved. I feel incredibly honored to have the opportunity to speak with you folks today. And I thought to myself, now that I'm in the back end of things, not working clinically, what could I possibly talk about that would be meaningful, being on this Mount Rushmore of speakers? I figured I would start by telling you how I came to know about CAPSA and what I had learned through CAPSA. I'd come to learn of CAPSA through my work with Access MHA, one of our regional referral hubs. It was co-led by some amazing folks at the time, by Gord Garner and folks like Dr. Kim Carace and others. CAPSA really opened my eyes to the value of co-leadership with professionals and those with lived and living experience. I remember feeling incredibly grateful to be a part of something bigger than myself, something for our community and built with our community. As for myself, my career prior to becoming Registrar and Executive Director of the college was as a practicing psychologist and at times perhaps a hospital leader. I'd like to send a message to our health and care professionals out there. Many of them are in the tent right now working very hard to network. Be kind to yourself and continue to strive to improve your craft. To serve as a care professional is a calling. I can assert with confidence that you folks are both superhuman and indeed very, very human. If I can impress anything upon you today, is that we are one. We are all human beings with our own substance use health stories, and that of our families and our loved ones. 76% of people use substances in Canada, yet we're reluctant in society to discuss our substance use with our care providers due to stigma. It's a tragedy of our times. If I can leave you with 3 messages today, they would be: 1, never forget our shared humanity. Wherever we are on our substance use health journeys, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. There's no us and them, whether healthcare professional or service recipient. 2, the self-stigma of care professionals is real. We all need to work on our wellness. You are worthy and deserving of support. And remember, those who stigmatize themselves because they feel shame about their own substance use health are likely to stigmatize others. Projection can be powerful and challenging. And 3, when we prioritize dignity, all roads lead to Rome. When in doubt, ask yourself, how would I want my loved one to be treated? If you haven't seen it yet, highly recommend CAPSA and CCSA's primer on overcoming stigma through language. I strive to use person-first language. I find it destigmatizes the conversation and focuses on the human being. I'll close by asking, what makes CAPSA so special? CAPSA is truly changing the conversation about substance use health. Thank you to CAPSA for your leadership and for making the community a better place. The road of advocacy is long and at times treacherous, but never forget the power of sua sponte. CAPSA leads on their own accord. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. DeBono. Thanks for joining us today. So the words I shared earlier were compassion, collaboration. I'm going to add dignity, the word dignity, to that as well today. Well, this is a real treat for me. I want to introduce the one and only Dr. Vera Etches. Dr. Etches was appointed the Medical Officer of Health for the Ottawa Public Health in April of 2018, having served as the Deputy Medical Officer of Health for 3 years, an associate for 5 before that. She's passionate about preventing illness and injury and working with partners across many sectors to keep people well and to promote population health. And I just want to take a second to share, during the pandemic, and I'm sure when you became the Medical Officer of Health, you didn't think there was going to be a pandemic, no. But I want to just give you a shout out. There is no one in this city that worked harder than I'm going to get emotional, than Dr. Etches. And the reason I say that is because she took my calls to be on air with me at all hours of the day, literally, and I am so grateful for that. And I don't know if she's actually received the credit for the leadership that you showed us all then and continue to show us. So thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Etches, everyone.
Oh my, I think we know all of us played a part in getting through those really hard days, and I'm thankful to everyone. And again, today it's about partnership, so thank you to Anthony, Sylvie, all the staff working for CAPSA, the volunteers that are here. There are board members from CAPSA here. I love all the community partners that are so visible under the tent, like just the diversity and number of people. So merci à tous. It is so encouraging, and this day wouldn't happen without you. And c'est aussi un privilège d'être aux côtés de personnes possèdent une expérience de vie. And so specifically, my board chair is here. I want to thank her, other elected officials, because it is important for our leaders to take in and participate in this event, to hear these important messages, and to get to know what's available in our community and help celebrate the positive movement that's happening. And so this year, community partners from across the city have been making advancements, certainly in building the capacity of staff, of businesses, across many organizations who are then directly engaging with more of our diverse community, that they're prepared and building capacity through training related to substance use health and well-being. À Ottawa, il y a nombreux employés qui maintenant participent à des formations pour approfondir leurs connaissances sur la stigmatisation et les impacts du langage afin de mieux servir les membres de la communauté. And it is through these community connections we are increasing the capacity of families and loved ones, faith leaders, to have safer and more effective conversations about substance use health. Another thing we see happening, and it's been 2 years now to change the next generation, is a partnership between CAPSA and Ottawa Public Health, the University of Ottawa, just here. Local medical students have been provided the opportunity to learn about substance use health, including the ways that stigma affects access to care and patient care. So medical students are building better language, better skills that focus on the person first and how to better connect people to care and social service supports. Another beautiful thing happening, I want to thank Ottawa Inner City Health and the Shepherds of Good Hope for the work they're doing with block leaders. This program, yes, I'm going to say a bit more about it because this program is designed by people with living experience. It engages and employs other members of the community whose knowledge and expertise can then help to address the social issues in neighborhoods. So thank you to everyone involved in the Block Leaders program. The efforts are rebuilding a sense of community for people living in the Byward Market. But they're also changing perceptions and opening up possibilities. So, grâce à des efforts comme ceci, le public est mieux informé sur les services communautaires et le bien-être à Ottawa. Nous avons accompli beaucoup accompli, mais nous savons qu'il reste encore du chemin à faire. So, to help keep dignity and compassion at the forefront of our substance use health work, and that is the theme this year, dignity and compassion, Ottawa Public Health has adopted an overdose crisis acknowledgement. This means that we take a moment to pause and reflect before discussing any data related to overdoses. And this moment, it acknowledges that we can't refer to numbers without recalling the impact of the lives lost due to the overdose and the toxic drug supply. Nous espérons que lorsque nous invoquons ces données, les personnes touchées seront toujours reconnues. And as part of the city's overdose prevention and response plan, Ottawa Public Health does provide data. It's regular, ongoing, updated data, even weekly, related to mental health, addictions, and substance use health concerns. We have 2 separate sources of data that are interconnected, kinds of dashboards. So the overdose overview tool provides timely insight into the overdose crisis, and the website will also flag early warning signs, such as an increase in emergency department visits. This allows us to take immediate action if the drug supply has become more dangerous, and you, anyone, can sign up to get alerts. You know, sometimes family members want to know, is there something happening with the drug supply in our community? So if you go to stopoverdoseottawa.ca, you can sign up and you'll be alerted when we see something more concerning, although the whole situation we know is already of concern. The second, more comprehensive tool is a mental health and substance use health addictions community dashboard. This is more of a broader picture on addictions, mental health, and substance use health. It includes data on the root causes. So that's where you're going to find information about housing, about racism and stigma in Ottawa. So my hope is that this data will continue to be used. We are seeing it picked up, and then that people use it to explore new ways of working together to decrease deaths and improve well-being for everyone. We know we need better access to culturally safe, trauma-informed, and anti-racist care for prevention, for harm reduction, and treatment services, and housing options, and beyond. We are going to need to be creative and collaborate to get more solutions in place for people over the coming year. And when I see the diversity of people and partners gathering here today, and I think about what you've accomplished over the last year, I do have great hope that we will be able to find new ways to keep each other well. So je tiens à remercier les organisateurs de l'événement aujourd'hui pour avoir réuni les membres de la communauté de la santé liés à l'utilisation de substances de la santé mentale et de la santé physique afin de favoriser le bien-être de tous. So really thank people for bringing us all together across these different communities and reminding us to uphold dignity and compassion in everything we do. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Dr. Etches. Appreciate your time today. I'm going to add the word hope today. I think that's a good one too. We've got compassion, collaboration, dignity, and I'm going to add hope in there. I wanted to have an opportunity today to introduce your very next guest speaker, and that is Natalie Deshane. Natalie is on a mission to help not-for-profits bridge the equity gap between their visions and reality. As the founder of Connect to Knowledge, she leverages her experience to partner with leaders and teams developing their equity proficiency through pragmatic and empathetic support. She's proud to have worked with many organizations participating in the WOW Festival, and it is a wow day. The sun's shining down. There's so many different partners here. I want to welcome Natalie to the stage. Thank you so much, Natalie. We're so happy you're here. There you go. I'll let you take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. As was noted, I have the great pleasure of working alongside many of the organizations that are under the tent today. And I love what I do because when I come in, it's because we want to get into the doing of things. We want to improve the system and make it better for everyone, the people providing services, accessing services, and everyone around. In preparing for today, I was reflecting on one of the main themes for the WOW Festival this year. WOW Fest is about action, not talk. I love that, right? Doing is my jam. And as I was thinking about it, in reflecting on some of the projects that I've done with many of you in the crowd today, I was thinking, what is it that stops us from taking action even when we could? And I realized actually it's talk. It's the way we talk, and specifically the way we talk about the system. Working alongside you, I often hear you reflect on the system as something that is external, something that we're trying to better design or fix, something that is guided by funders and regulators and all those in power, something that is complicated, something that we have to fight against in order to get our clients the support that they deserve. Here's the thing though, the system is actually much more concrete than all of that. The system is you, it's me, it's us coming together. It is every action that we take. Small, large. From the time you walk into the building, you're creating the system and rebuilding it every day. It's the way you greet a new client, build rapport, make split-second decisions around what questions to ask or skip on the intake form. It's your clinical judgments that you've built over time. It's the dozens of decisions you take. It's your clinical meetings, the way you talk about clients, especially when they're not there. It's the way you collaborate with your colleagues. It's the attitude that you bring to the work. It's the little gestures and micro expressions in your face that sometimes betray your disappointment, your disgust, the things that are felt. That's the system. And with that, I've got good news, bad news. The bad news is that the thing that you've been fighting against is us, and you're a part of it. We're all complicit in the system, the good, the bad, the ugly. Its complexity, the elements of it that are traumatizing, the stigma, we are a part of it. And we are continuing to sustain it through our actions. The good news, however, is that we are the system. And we can control our actions with intent so that every day we rebuild the system a little better each and every time. Now, our ability to do that is predicated on something that's very important. We need to be able to reflect on the actions of yesterday and realize with great humility that we are imperfect humans with imperfect knowledge that have made many mistakes, and still today have much imperfect knowledge and continue to make those mistakes. Sometimes we're wrong about very fundamental things for a very long time. And our ability to wrestle with that and wake up the next day and search out those mistakes and try to get better knowledge, to connect with the people around us, including today, with an open heart and an open mind, to be changed by it, that is how we create a better system today, tomorrow, and every day after that. Now, I know it's not easy work, and I know you all work very hard towards it. And yet, we need to do better, and I think we all recognize that. There's some parts of this that are just so complicated to understand, right? Sometimes the actions that we take locally end up having these impacts at a larger scale that are way beyond what our intent is. I think a good image on that is when you think of the highway. Public service is back, school's back, the Queensway is blocked, right? If everybody were to drive at a steady speed, minimize changing lanes, we'd all get where we're going a lot faster. But people locally are trying to game the system, get to where they need to be, do the best for them, their vehicle, their loved ones, going into different lanes and slowing everything down. Okay? When you put that on the system, sometimes what we do for our clients, going above and beyond, getting them on every list, even the things that are done with the best of intent at a larger scale can have consequences beyond our intent. Being open to that is crucial. And today is a really great opportunity to reflect on the kinds of actions that you want to take to rebuild the system, the kinds of connections that you're going to make with others, the ways that you're going to collaborate. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for building this system every day anew. Let's just rebuild to better tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh, very inspiring. Thank you so much, Natalie, for joining us today. Appreciate Natalie's time. Okay, we have another speaker for you, and I just have learned so much today. I'm hoping you have as well. I would like to introduce Dr. Alexander Caudrella. Is a bilingual family physician with specialty training in substance use health issues. As a leader and clinician, he brings years of collaborative substance use healthcare experience as the CEO of the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction from his work across the country. He's developed innovative clinical programs to decrease barriers to care and improve access to a better standard of care in hospitals, clinics, and the community. In his work as a researcher and clinician, he's frequently advised public health officials on issues related to substance use health. Let's welcome him to the stage. Welcome. We're so excited you're here. Thank you so much. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it is so hot and everyone is hiding in the shade. And I love it. I am also hiding in the shade, except for you two. Those folks are hiding in the sun. Everyone else is in the, oh, you as well. Look at it, we got 4 people hiding in the sun. Everyone else is, 5. There you go. I'm really excited to be back at the WOW Festival. And both with our friends and our partners at CAPSA. I'm Alex Caudrella, as was said. I'm the CEO at the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction. I'd like to take a moment, and I know it was done earlier, but to respectfully acknowledge that the offices of the CCSA are located on the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. The Algonquin and Anishinaabe Nation has been present on and nurturer of land since time immemorial. We're coming together today from different places that are home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful for the opportunity to be present on those lands. I first had the opportunity to come to WOW 2 years ago, and it was the first speech I had to give as the CEO of CCSA, and I was tremendously nervous at the time. But I remember I talked a lot about the system's failures, but I also talked about the need for attention and effort. And now, I think most of us can agree that there is a tremendous amount of attention being given to the issue around substance use health and broader issues. But there was a quiet part that I used to talk about that I didn't mention at the last WOW one, which was that if people didn't feel that they were part of the solution, if people didn't feel that the crises they were seeing were solvable, that they would get angry. And I think we're seeing a lot of that right now. We're seeing a lot of anger. We're seeing a lot of frustration. And that makes people go backwards when it comes to things like stigmatization, language, and even being able to treat other human beings with dignity. I think that part of the issue has been looking at how big the problem feels. Edmund Burke, the famous philosopher, once said that nobody makes a greater mistake than he who does nothing because he could only do a little. And I think that a lot of us, both in the field and outside of it, are guilty of this. We see what feel like very difficult and sometimes unsurmountable, or what feel like unsurmountable challenges. And I think we are compelled to just sit back. And I think when we sit back, that's when the anger comes. Because if you can't participate in the solution, then you have to be angry and frustrated at the problem. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about CCSA for those of you who don't know. For 35 years, we've been the only national organization with a legislated mandate to reduce the harms of substance use for people in Canada. Nous réalisons des études et nous recueillons de l'information qui, nous l'espérons, sauveront des vies. Ou du moins qui aideront ceux et celles qui ont des problèmes d'alcool et de drogue, ainsi que les personnes qui prennent soin d'eux. We want to engage through meaningful partnerships that are tangible. We want to bring people together to develop ways to move all of us further towards our common goals of improving the health and well-being of people in our communities. Nous savons qu'il est important d'écouter et pas seulement de parler. Nous amplifions les voix des personnes que nous consultons, y compris les voix de personnes présentes ici aujourd'hui. Mais il faut aussi amplifier les voix qui n'ont pas été à la table depuis longtemps. We know that too many places across the country are grappling with the issues at hand. We know that tens of thousands of people have died. There's an economic cost, a social toll, and of course the human impact. What we need are effective responses founded in evidence and compassion. And that's part of why CAPSA has been such an extraordinary partner through this. When there are issues with stigma and language, there's CAPSA to try and remind us of how we can tackle this. When we need to not forget that this is a whole of health and a whole of community issue, there's CAPSA to remind us. And when we need hope to feel that things can get better for many people and that health can improve, there's CAPSA once again. So they have been an extraordinary partner, and it's such a privilege to be here. Sometimes it seems like we're too busy yelling to get our point across. I want to let you all know, though, that we're just back from a 3-day event in Timmins, Ontario. We partnered with the city there, and we brought together experts from around the country to work on solutions to the toxic drug crisis, specifically for small communities. They have different needs and different resources, but often very similar problems. They can't just adopt what happens in Ottawa or Toronto or Vancouver. We had people sharing work, lessons, and what was fascinating was we had people who disagreed at the heart of so many specific things, but wanted to come together because they believed that they needed to come together to find solutions. And so if in this incredibly polarized space, we can still have room for people who are living and affected by these communities to come together and have the conversations that need to have, well, that gives me a tremendous amount of hope. And as Canada, we've done this many times before. This is how we tackled the HIV and AIDS crises, even the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Canadians can do amazing things. People in Canada are amazing. We are home not only to Ryan Reynolds, but also the home of Ryan Gosling. So that is like twice as many famous Ryans as most countries have. Before he became a Canadian icon, Terry Fox was just a kid no one had heard of with a crazy idea to raise money for cancer research, and Rick Hansen just wanted to finish what Terry started. We know these folks and their names as heroes, but they're surrounded by the communities, and this is again where, if this is your full-time job, great, working in this space. If you're somebody who's been in one of these buildings and you're wandering through, great. There is no contribution too small to move this forward. And so we have to understand our community heroes like teachers, healthcare workers, and so on. We even need to look at our families and friends to inspire us every day. You have to remember that even Wolverine is Canadian. But regardless if we find inspiration in real life, or in other words, from comic books to movies, every journey starts with someone who wants to make a change. That's like every single person that's here today. And I think that's what's critical. CCSA needs to get back to a word that's written in its original mandate, which is we're supposed to increase the participation of Canadians, of people living in Canada, in finding solutions. This isn't going to be the government that solves it. This isn't going to be any level of government. It's not going to be a rich billionaire. It's not even going to be somebody famous. It's going to be all of us. The future is millions of little things that are going to help things get better. I want to share with you something from the poet Lee Knight, which is, I want you to envision that there's a giant seesaw. And on one end, you have a basket half full of rocks. And on the other end, way up in the air, you have a basket a quarter full of sand. And there's all of us and everyone here in this tent running around with little teaspoons of sand. And we're putting that sand in and we're trying to fill it up. And then one day or week or year of all this efforts to change the way we speak about this, to change the way we tackle this, to change what matters and show people what matters, one day that seesaw is going to flip. And everyone's going to say, gee, how'd that happen so suddenly? And that's what this is all about. So I hope that we can feel empowered despite what we read, despite what we feel, that we have a role to play. And I hope that everyone who wakes up in the morning feeling a little bit frustrated, a little bit angry, can turn that towards what role can I play in helping my community be safer, in helping my community be healthier. And I want you to know that CCSA as an organization is really committed to working with you to find those solutions. Thank you all very much, and I hope you enjoy the WOW Festival.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Sean Fisk, the Education and Partnership Lead for CAPSA. It's wonderful to be with you all today. So each year at WowFest, we take a moment to celebrate and honor an individual, and this year is no different. I'd like to take time to think about an individual that's known as a collaborator and a partner, someone that's well known across sector for opening doors, thinking of projects, connecting. And it's pretty rare at CAPSA that we don't have some type of introduction at our inbox from this person, and it's nice to have that connection. But one of the reasons we want to spend some time honoring our Allyship Award winner this year is because our award winner, Megan, is someone who embodied within her work are our values. Okay? It goes beyond collaboration and goes beyond working with us. But in the work she does across sector, connecting with many of you, we know that compassion and integrity, the values and principles of substance use health, we know these things are embodied in her actions and how she helps guide the principles of care, compassion, and integrity to our sector. And so one of the things I wanted to do is just say that it's a real privilege for me because this is a personal friend to me and someone who's done a lot, not just for CAPSA, but myself. And buzzing around with all of you today, I know that she's done a lot for you too. And so it's my privilege and pleasure, my distinct honor to welcome to the stage this year's WowFest Allyship Award, Megan Darroch.
Thank you, Sean and CAPSA. I am so humbled by this award because I know how incredibly important and serious the work that CAPSA does, and recognizing how much CAPSA has grown, its message and its resources and its reach over the past decade. Now, more than ever, we need to be practicing compassionate care and dismantling systems stigma related to substance use in our ever-increasing health crisis, and to increase access to health care and other services. Our Ottawa West Four Rivers Ontario Health Team has been so fortunate to have CAPSA as one of our partners, including as a co-lead of one of our tables. Working directly with Anthony and Sean, Leisha, Brianne, Haley, and Ashley has brought me personally so much joy and purpose. And they've played a key role in helping to shape our culture by recognizing how much language matters and how change really starts with true allyship. As noted in CAPSA's Code of Conduct for engaging people with lived and living experience, a resource I highly recommend for those of you who are trying to create spaces of trust and dignity and community, they speak about allyship as being a practice. And it's something that, even with our best intentions, we will make mistakes. So I call these my failing forward moments, and I appreciate how CAPSA always offers me grace to grow and learn through those moments. So I just want to thank CAPSA for holding this space for all of us every year so that we can kind of reunite and make these new connections that are needed and to work on all of our wellness. Thank you.
Okay, folks, and as we at CAPSA grow and are working on wellness in Canada, collaboration with all of you and others grows, so does this moment. And so this year what we wanted to do was extend some of our appreciation and admiration to a community organization. And so one of the organizations within the community where we know they go across our sector and people come to them for support, but their mission and mandate is really about dismantling stigma for those that they serve. And so we have appreciation, admiration, and we have an understanding that we all do this together. And so for this year at our WowFest, we want to offer the first annual WowFest Community Award. And for that, we'd like to invite up Ahmed from Max Ottawa.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you, CAPSA. Max Ottawa is a community-based organization. We are made up of the people that we serve. Our staff members, our board members, our volunteers. We're all queer, trans, and non-binary people. We are refugees, we are sex workers, people living with HIV, and people who use substances. We live across identities and experiences that are continually marginalized and stigmatized and criminalized. And we've had to rely on ourselves to just get through that and become our own experts in our path to health and wellness and a life of pride and dignity. We are deeply passionate about all of the work that we do. In the last 5 months alone, we have distributed 7,000 safer substance use supplies. Each one a step toward reducing harm and supporting community health. We've also had the privilege of visiting different community organizations to talk about things like party and play and chemsex and substance use in the queer community and the harm reduction strategies that serve us the best. Those conversations not only help spread awareness, but challenge stigma at its roots. We love being part of this sector, which is filled with dedicated individuals and organizations like CAPSA, who are deeply committed to ensuring substance use health for everyone. We know that the systems in place will continue to challenge us, but these systems are no match for the strength and resolve of our communities and our allies. So thank you for this honor, and we're proud to continue to work alongside you and our allies and our partner organizations, and we look forward to building a future where all people can access and care and respect and dignity that they deserve. Thank you.
Tilt it down just a little bit more, please. Great. Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you.
Just this a little bit. All right, hello everyone. This year we're very proud to present another new award. Through CAPSA's work with various organizations over the years, we've come to understand the importance of supporting employees around their health, particularly around their substance use health. And this year we'd like to recognize an organization that has been a leader in demonstrating such commitments, whether it be providing trainings and the necessary tools and capacity building to their staff, being a leader in taking the necessary steps through organizational assessment tools, and taking the necessary action to make improvements. We would like to welcome our first recipient of CAPSA's Working on Wellness Employment Award, the Thunder Bay District Health Unit.
I just want to say thank you to Ashley and CAPSA for involving us in the WOW Festival this week. Thank you for your dedication to raising awareness about substance use health. The last 2 years, the Thunder Bay District Health Unit has partnered with CAPSA to provide community training on stigma and substance use. And the training has provided us with insights and practical tools that helped us reflect on our own work environment and assisting us to encourage other workplaces to prioritize reducing stigma and creating more supportive spaces. We're very grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the ongoing substance use health movement, and it's an honor for the Thunder Bay District Health Unit to receive this recognition and to be here at the WOW Festival, surrounded by others committed to fighting stigma. So thanks, everyone.
Okay. A little bit more if you don't mind. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
All right, I promise this is the last. This is the last of the speakers, but I could not let this day pass without stepping up and saying a few words. I'm Anthony Esposi. Those of you who don't know me, I'm the CEO of CAPSA. I am proud to lead such a dedicated team. Dedicated, enthusiastic, absolutely brilliant. Today was made possible by the hard work of our team at CAPSA. In addition to all the volunteers, we had a record number of volunteers sign up for this event this year, and I want to thank all of you. Also want to thank Ottawa Public Health, our sponsors at the Royal and CCSA. Again, their financial contributions and their in-kind support have been invaluable in getting this this amazing festival off the ground. I hope everyone has been having a great time today. Yeah, good. Meeting lots of people, making great connections. Why do we host the WOW Festival? Maybe you heard me last year if you were here. It's not about celebrating anything. It's about demonstrating. And it's not an angry demonstration with placards and raised voices. This is a demonstration of what a coordinated and integrated system of care for people with physical health, mental health, and substance use health concerns. One place where people can come and have their whole health addressed, get introduced,
to places where care is available as they need it in a step care model. This is what we do here today. Wouldn't it be nice if something like this existed everywhere, where we didn't have to have navigators in systems, where systems were easy to access, low barrier, equitable for those who need help? So that's the purpose of WOW. The purpose of me being here today is to introduce you to something new that we've developed at CAPSA. And if the folks at OSE could flash our visual up on the board, that would be great. We're very proud to launch today officially. If you subscribe to our newsletter, you may have seen this already, but we are officially launching today our new substance use health spectrum, a very important evolution in the spectrum of substance use health. CAPSA was the first organization, along with OPH, to recognize that the people who don't use substances even need access to their substance use health care. How do we hold our decision to not use substances, whether it be for medical reasons, health reasons, whether it's for cultural reasons, or maybe I've never used substances before in my life. But it's important to depict substance use health on this spectrum, from no use to a substance use disorder, because our system is designed around illness. All our care is focused on that far end, that far side of the spectrum around substance use disorder. But where is the information, where are the resources for people to address their health with respect to their substance use? It hasn't been any more better depicted as in two pieces of research that have taken place recently. One is the CCSA guidance on alcohol and health, and one is CAPSA's and CCSA's first ever substance use health survey, a national survey of more than 4,000 people. Our survey indicated that 86% of those people surveyed believe that they are in a low-risk category with respect to their substance use. They believe that their health risk is at low risk. Yet in the work that CCSA did in their alcohol and health guidelines, discovered that 40% of people who drink alcohol are in a high-risk category of early death. So we have a population of people that don't have the information that they need to properly assess their health with respect to their substance use. By no means is CAPSA a temperance organization. We welcome all people, all pathways. All people, no matter what substances you use, whether you don't use, what pathway to health you choose, whether that be a reduction in use, whether that be no use. So it is very important that this spectrum be adopted throughout our healthcare organizations. Ottawa Public Health has been a leader in our community in adopting our old spectrum, and I hope that we'll be seeing them make use of this. This is available for public. We want people to look at this and make use of it. Our new webpage, if you go to our webpage, there's a substance use health tab that you can pull down, and it talks about this and where this all comes from. The important thing about our substance use health spectrum is that everybody belongs there. Everybody belongs there. The tragedy is no one knows where to put themselves because we don't have the information and resources to make those determinations. What is also important is that stigma occurs around this substance use spectrum. No matter where you land on that spectrum, you are stigmatized. Whether you don't use substances, whether you use substances, what substances you use, the method that you use your substances, there's stigma attached. And that was the founding principle of CAPSA, is addressing stigma, not only at the personal level, but at a systems level. Our hope, our plan, our strategy is to eradicate this stigma. So in addition to our new spectrum, we've also launched our Healthy Workplaces assessment, where organizations can take an assessment and look at their policies and procedures and how they treat their employees around their substance use. How many of you have joined an organization and through your orientation have been walked through how many times you can get a dental cleaning during the year? What drugs are covered? You know, how many massages you can have? Who has spoken to you about your substance use health and what services are available. So this assessment helps assess those things within your organization and creating a space not for employers to go out and find the folks that are having trouble, but to create an environment where people can come forward and say, you know what, I need some help with my substance use health. I have questions. And that can only be done in a discrimination and stigma-free environment. So we're super excited about all these things that are taking place. So happy that so many, this is a record year for us. We have more than 100 community partners here this year. We're absolutely over the moon. Thank you to all our community partners who have supported this event. I hope you've had a great day so far. We still have another 2.5 hours to mix and mingle and talk and make connections. So I'm going to stop and let the entertainment take over and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, everyone. Never let the CEO be in charge of anything. So every year we have this group picture. So everyone come out of the tent, please. We want to have as many people down in front of the stage. We've got some banners for you to hold. We want to show people working together on wellness. So leave your free stuff on your table that you're afraid someone will take. Come forward and join us and show. This goes out across all our social media. We have 14,000 followers, so make sure your family members and your friends see you on social media in this big post. So if you could all come forward, volunteers can sweep through the tent, get a coalition of the unwilling. That's great. We're getting some people up here. Come on up. Don't be shy. We've got some banners for people to hold. And if people from the edges can sort of scooch in towards the middle, make it look like you like one another. Oh, this is great. All right. Oh man, this is going to be the best photo ever. Feel free to come down the center aisle here as well. There's lots of room, or push some chairs aside. So Matt is going to be our photographer. He's not up on. He'll be up on the podium eventually, but if you can't see Matt's camera, he can't see your face. So make sure that you're able to see Matt's camera. Look at all these people. I'm going to have a personal moment for a minute here. I am. Just for a moment. Imagine when I was looking for help. I don't know if you know, but CAPSA, we're professionals and subject matter experts. We're informed by our lived and living experience with a substance use disorder. I had no idea all this help was available. And that's what today's about. There's so much available, and thank you for coming out and showing people what's available, and all your brilliant smiling faces that welcome people to help for people who are struggling. So now turn around, we're going to take a photo.
We're in.
So I guess the annual chant, stigma ends with me, compassion begins with us. Wow. Stigma ends with me, compassion begins with us. Wow. Stigma ends with me, compassion begins with us. Wow!
But if you're not good at this system, you'll often be denied entrance to often described as lacking the necessary documentation. Whose health needs care.
Where does our habit of labeling people come from? Sure, it may seem efficient to boil down an entire biography to a couple of words, but it also freezes the person in time and labels them with only one aspect of their life story. People who use substances, for instance, are often reduced to labels that are intended to shame, and those labels can stick to a person for the rest of their life, throughout the healthcare system and in their community. Hurtful labels never take into account how or why someone may have arrived where they are, and studies have shown that stigmatizing labels reinforce feelings of worthlessness. And this stigma often prevents people from seeking help if they need it. How would you feel if people referred to you as one thing you do or try not to do? Isn't it more compassionate to talk about the person, not their difficulties? When we know that stigmatizing labels can be harmful, we can choose to care rather than shame by using words that put people first. After all, I'm more than a label, aren't you?